knows a lot, and he is quite experienced, and we are happy that he is there, good, healthy, so that if we need help, if we need advice, we can always seek him out.
He didn't take it personal when you betrayed him and went with...
Well, he took it, it was heavy
Okay.
on his part,
Okay.
because we had been together for a long time.
Okay.
And he felt I needed to listen to him.
Okay.
And believe him without questions that William Ruto is a bad man.
Okay.
And I didn't want to believe him. Had I listened to him,
Yeah.
this country would not be in the hole we are in. Yeah,
Okay.
I would have made different decisions. I would have done things differently. And probably we would be in a better place as a country. But that is now what under the bridge. What is important is for us to correct the situation.
Okay.
And that's what I'm working on now.
Okay.
That is my focus.
Okay.
To correct the situation. I used a lot of energy to make William Ruto president, and I'll double or triple that energy
Okay.
to correct the mistakes that I made.
Okay.
So I'm a busy man, extremely busy,
Okay.
extremely busy, and focused to undo the damage that I brought to this country.
Okay.
And God willing, in the fullness of time, I'll make it up for the people of Kenya.
Okay.
By correcting the mistakes that I made.
Okay. You say that Uhuru Kenyatta was a good friend of yours for a while. Then when you get the stint with William Ruto, kidogo you betrayed him kidogo, but somehow you still respect him a lot. But how come during the campaign time you guys used to say don't kill our children? Would your friend do that?
You know, I've told you that William Ruto is very persuasive. He sold us a narrative that today, when we interrogate what we were doing and saying, we wonder whether we were mad. You know, sometimes you look back to the things that you did and said,
okay.
and you really wonder whether you are in your right senses. But you know, some of us are very trusting. You know, we really believed this man and his narrative, and he sold it to us. You know, hook, bait, and sinker, and we bought it. And today, this country is in shit. You know, we are in a hole. Yeah, the country is almost collapsing. You know, we are in trouble with the international community. You have heard what the Americans are saying. We are in trouble with Sudan, the DRC. You know, the economy has collapsed. There's no money in people's pocket. The health system has collapsed. The education system has collapsed. I, regarding Gachagua, bears a lot of blame for the situation we are in. And I'm very sorry to the people of Kenya. And I once more want to take this opportunity to apologize to the people of Kenya for the role I played in birthing the current leadership that has caused misery and desperation to the people of Kenya by reading the payslip and by making life unbearable. I bear great responsibility for the crisis we are in as a country.
That you've created.
And I have asked the people of Kenya
to
allow me to correct that situation.
Okay.
And I will.
Okay.
Together with other like-minded Kenyans and the people of Kenya, we must correct that situation.
So this situation you said you put Kenyans into, you said you put a lot of work and effort around making William Ruto president.
Yes, I did.
You also helped fund it.
Yes.
How much money did you contribute in the campaign?
Well, I don't know what to say because I don't think it's necessary, but I put quite a bit of money. I put a lot of emotions.
Okay.
I put a lot of time. And in the process, I also wronged many people. I also made enemies with many people whom I had no business making enemies with. And my worry and regret is not that I did the wrong thing.
Okay.
It's the result of what I did.
What you did.
The problems the people of Kenya are going through, the anguish, the pain, the frustration. Businesses have collapsed. Pending bills have not been paid. People cannot provide food on the table. Wrong priorities, misappropriation of public resources, abductions, extrajudicial killings. You know, it's hell, you know, for the people of Kenya.
Okay.
And I am very pained that I played a very instrumental role in putting Kenya where it is.
I have a few quick fire questions that I want to shoot your way, just to touch the base on what the amount of damage we are in at this moment. Did you guys really find empty coffers?
To a certain extent, yes.
Okay.
But there was enough to get the country started. Okay, there wasn't surplus or really abundance, but there was enough money to get the country back on its feet.
Okay.
The government, the administration of William Ruto is led by William Ruto, implemented by William Ruto, oversighted by William Ruto. Everything moves around him. We're just there.
Okay.
And, nothing anybody can do. That is why you find out of the 22 ministers who were appointed in the first government, 13 have been shown the door, yet nothing has changed. Because they are not a problem. The problem is one, the common denominator. Because how do you explain? Deputy President removed, replaced, nothing has changed. Attorney General removed, nothing has changed. Minister for Internal Security changed, nothing has changed. Minister for Finance changed, nothing has changed. Minister for Health changed 3 times, the health system are still not working. How do you explain what is Kenya's problem? Because if the Susan Nakumisha was a problem in the Ministry of Health, when she was changed and Deborah brought, they would have been changed. Deborah has been changed and Aden Duale has been brought, nothing has changed. Yeah. Professor Ndongo was removed as Cabinet Secretary for Nursery. John Buddy has been brought, nothing. Yeah. Ndiki left Interior. Kipchumba Mugwen has come. Crime is even worse. All these people who have been changed. It's a game of musical chairs. But the problem is not these ministers. The problem is the president, because he does everything in this country. Those ministers have said many times, and they are very act, because they know it's the truth, but they don't want it to be said. They are mere flower girls. The president has more advisors than ministers. But the problem is the president advises the advisors on how to advise him. You know? So it's what you call a zero-sum game. You know? Nothing can change. And I want to tell you, my friend, my good brother.
Yeah.
I want to tell you today, and I want you to call me for another interview.
Okay.
Nothing will change in this country. It will get worse.
Question, when you're in office, what were the things that you achieved, you personally?
2 things only that I was allowed to do.
Okay.
I was not allowed to do many things. I was allowed to be the chairperson of emergency response.
Okay.
During the worst drought in 40 years, I made sure Kenyans did not die. They had food. I was all over the country. I made sure I mobilized food from international community, from NGOs, from the private sector, and fed Kenyans. I was in charge during El Nino. I made sure that people had food. People had non-food items. Red Cross was mobilized. I made sure that I did. Number 2, I pretended over coffee reforms. For 2 years, I did a coffee conference in Meru in 2023. I instituted very practical interventions in terms of removing cartels that were fleecing the farmers. Today, as a result of the work that I did, coffee farmers are smiling all the way to the bank. When we came in, farmers were earning between 60 shillings per kilo up to 100. Today, as we speak, it's between 120 shillings to 200 shillings as a result of the coffee reforms that I instituted.
Okay.
The war on alcohol and illicit brews, I led that war very successfully. Young men had abandoned their homes. They were sleeping in trenches because of consuming illicit alcohol. I brought radical changes, shut down factories that were producing illicit alcohol.
Matiang'i is back. You're going to be process with him?
Yeah, he's a great guy. He was here the other day.
Okay.
He was here in Wamanyoro. He paid me a visit. We are working together. He's a great guy. I think he has got good ideas. He has the zeal and the passion.
Okay.
Proven track record. He worked under President Uhuru Kenyatta and did things that are verifiable and quantifiable. and I think he's quite focused of what we need to do.
Okay.
And we are working as a team, and he's a good team player. We have had several meetings, and I think we are getting along very well. I'm very hopeful that we will craft something together with our other brothers, Stephen Kaloso Musyoka,
Oh, you
Eugene
also with
Wamalo. Yeah.
Kalonzo?
Yeah, they were all here. Wamalo was here, Eugene Wamalo was here, Stephen Kaloso Musyoka was here last Sunday.
Okay. Martha
Matiang'i was here, Mother Karua, my sister, was here.
Okay.
And other many leaders were here, Justin Muturi, Mithika Linturi, Senator Seki from Kajiado. We had many people. And
Who are you having from the West area?
Western, we have Eugene. We have Cleophas Malala, who is also the deputy party leader of my party. Another young man, very, very focused. And we are good.
Nyanza area?
We have young people from Nyanza,
Okay.
like my deputy chair.
Okay.
You know, Nyanza has been a difficult region.
Okay.
Because Baba has been there for long, and he's more or less on one institution. So it's now I can see people are trying to exercise independence of mind, which is a good thing for democracy. So I'm sure we'll have many people also.
If Babu Ino comes, would you?
Babu Ino is a great mind. So it's another young man I have a lot of time for.
Okay.
And he's the future.
Okay.
Babu Ino will go places. And these are the young people I would like to mentor.
Okay.
Yeah, I really, if I get an opportunity to mentor Babu, I see a great future in that young man.
Okay. Dindi Nyoro?
Didi Nyoro is another great mind.
Okay.
And I have mentored Didi Nyoro for the longest.
Okay.
And once he puts his mind together so that he decides where he is, he has a great future.
Okay. I am. Now, over here in this camera, to the Gen Zs, who you want to vote for you want to listen to you, and Kenyans at large, why they need to vote for you, why they need to join your party and not these other parties, and what makes it also different. Because maybe it's not just promises like the other one we were told, hey, this and this and that.
I want to tell the Gen Z that I'm a genuine man. At the lowest moment for the Gen Z in this country, at their lowest moment, when they were being shot, when they were being killed, when William Ruto was calling them criminals, this guy here, Rigiji, stood up and said the Gen Zs are not criminals. They were sons and daughters. They should not be killed. They should be heard, and they should be given a chance. That is a clear demonstration and a clear testimony that I believe in the Gen Z, and I love working with them. I would therefore want an opportunity to be that leader who will bring the Gen Z to the decision-making table and allow them to do what they know. I would want to be given an opportunity to lead this country so that I can work with Kenya's best, the Gen Z. These are young people who are innocent, who are tribeless, and who are patriotic and who love their country. They are knowledgeable and energetic. What a privilege that I would have to get an opportunity to work with them. But it's not possible for me to work with the Gen Z unless I'm president, because it is country. That is the person who would allow them to work and let them be. Anybody else below the president cannot make that decision. But I've demonstrated my faith in the Gen Z, and if given an opportunity to be the president of this country, they will be my partners in the governance of this country. We would work together, and I would eventually mentor them and exit the space and allow them to take over.